Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in to check out your boy, P Funk. Thinking right out here in my lab, and I'm in the book. We down the rabbit hole with my girl, my yacht philosophy. We got some good stuff here. We're gonna break down what we do and why we do it. So we're gonna ask the question: what is right thinking philosophy, or what is Egyptian yoga? We call it Smai Tawi. I'll tell you about that in a minute. Let's rock. Rightism, 25 rules to live by. Storytelling, story with a message. There's always a message in my stories. For life, I give life lessons. You tune in and receiving them. I appreciate you. We got a good thing going. Let's do what we do. Right thinking mission is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinking way of life through mental and spiritual discipline. Practice daily will help and guide you to attain your goal of reaching spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission is that all right thinkers know thyself. If you're a right thinker, your goal is to know thyself. See where we're going with this? Let's get it together. So I ask the question: do you know you? Well, when I'm through, that's what I do. It's rhetorical, but if you don't have the answer for yourself, tune in. I got you. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. Don't be them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple. So you can teach them. That's why I do what I do. For you, appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believe and think that they know is dangerous, avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows not that they know spiritually asleep. I can awaken them. I'm your spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. That's what I do for you. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers, know thyself and to my God, be true. All right, right there. Peak from philosophy. We back in the path of action and enlightenment. That's what Mayat gives you. And this is a bunch of philosophical concepts and principles that you can practice and master for yourself. I did. It works. What is Egyptian yoga? AKA, what's right thing of philosophy? Egyptian yoga. All right. But the term Egyptian yoga and the philosophy behind it, break that down for you right quick. And then we're going to move into the Smai Tawi breakdown. Now, as previously discussed, this is a follow up to the lesson I just gave you. As previously discussed, yoga in all of its forms were practiced where? In Egypt. When? Apparently earlier than anywhere else in history. Oh, y'all started yoga? Yeah, but we didn't call it yoga. We just called it Egyptian yoga, okay? Or Smai Tawi. That's a different name. The philosophy is Shita Netta, but we know it as the union. Two things come together. I'll break that down as we go, but let's go. But earlier than anywhere else, we practice that concept, okay? But this point of view is also supported by facts that there is documented evidence and scriptural iconography evidence of the disciplines of virtuous living, aka Mayat philosophy, dietary purification, purifying one's heart with righteous and selfless living, study of the wisdom teachings we call right thinking philosophy, and the practice it when daily in your life. Right thinking is meant to be practiced in your daily life. The lesson that you learn meant to be implemented in your daily life. The things that you're learning, you're supposed to practice and implement them in your daily life and in the what? Mastering them for yourself. And psychophysical, that means the mind. Psycho spiritual, again, in the mind. Exercising. What's the hell is a psychophysical and psycho spiritual exercise? Meditation and working out. Exercise, physical and mental. Meditation, when practiced daily from our ancient ancestors, it was practiced long before any evidence of its existence is have been detected in India, including the Indus Valley civilization, who is older than India. So they didn't have it there, and Indians found it and used it. Or any other early civilization, not even in Sumer, not even in Greece or China. Get the concept? It's been around a long time, started with us. Those teachings of yoga, or Smai Tawi, I call it right thing of philosophy. And these are at the heart of what? The Per Im Haru. What the hell, the Per Im Haru? That's our ancient ancestors' definition of the Bible. Okay? Yeah, it had spells, it had connotation, it had mythological concepts that you need to understand and learn to make it through the afterlife. That's what we had. And they found it in the people's caskets, so they call it the Book of the Dead. Ain't nothing you can do dead. So it couldn't have been book from dead people. Book of coming forth by day is what it means. Haru, that's the spirit that's in me and you. And because Asar is our father, which we consider to be God in the physical form, we want to get back the spirit to him while we reincarnated in his honor to what? Get back to him spiritually. And as explained earlier, the word yoga is a Sanskrit term, and it means to unite, to put together, to come together your individual consciousness with your higher cosmic consciousness. We know to be God. We knew that a long time ago. We tried to break it down as best we could, and we've been doing it ever since. And y'all keep swinging and missing. The term has been used in certain parts of this book for ease of what? The communication, since the word yoga is so readily understood and have received wide popularity, especially now in the Western Hemisphere. And in recent years, yoga, everything is yoga. I've been practicing yoga for over 10 years, 12 years now. The ancient Egyptian equivalent term to that Sanskrit word yoga is, the original word is Sma, S-M-A-I, or Sema, S-E-M-A. It means union. It means the following determinative terms gives it a spiritual significance, meaning lower and upper, at once equating with the term yoga as it is used in India. We know that, where what? When used in conjunction with the ancient Egyptian symbol, which means land, ta, semi-ta, two lands, the term union of two lands arise, but the ancient Egyptians called the disciplines of yoga in ancient Egypt by the term Smai Tawi, the union of two lands, what? Upper and lower. I'm going to show you the concept of that. Okay, so what does semi-Tawi mean? Good question. I got the answer for you. But this is what they're trying to show you. This is the moral fight that's in all of us. You see, there are the same body marks. Everything from the neck down is the same, right? Only difference is this is Set, this is Haru. He's the good guy, he's the bad guy. Real simple. But they still come together to what? Ideas existing. This is the lung. They represent the lung, the capacity to tie down the breath. And when you see yoga, it comes in four different things, emblems. This is the throat and the heart. That's called, so the first one is called the nephra. Excuse me, the nephra, that's this symbol right here. Then you got the next one is the sema or sma. This is the union of two lungs, the trachea and your two lungs. This is the, you know what that is? That's the Ankh, the key of life. Okay? This is Hotep. This is what you call supreme peace. These are all emblematic of in its whole the definition of what yoga means. Back then, they did everything in trilateral. They write it one way, another way, and then explain it. So everything was pretty much done in threes. And that's what semi-Tawi. I just showed you the breakdown. But now, let me show you above. I just showed you the picture right here. The moral fight that you have inside you. This is you. This is the devil, as I call it. The devil, get behind me. You want Satan or Set behind you, not in front. He's a good servant, bad leader. Emotions are good servants, bad leaders. That's what he represents, your emotions. Watch this. Above, I just showed you a picture of Smai Tawi. It's called Smai Haru Set. Haru and Set, they join forces to tie up the symbol of union, Sema, that thing they tying down, upper and lower. The Sema symbols refers to what? The union of Upper Egypt, which the lotus flower grows, and then Lower Egypt, where the papyrus flower grows, under one rule. But also that means you. It also, at a more subtle level, is referring symbolically to what? The union of one's higher self and lower self. Okay? Haru and Set, that's the moral fight that's inside you. Haru, your spirit, should be in the driver's seat. If Set is in the driver's seat, you're going to have problems. He don't know how to drive. Okay? Haru was built to drive. He's the warrior. He come here to do one thing: beat Set, conquer Set. Okay? And they fought for 80 years. Average man lifespan was about 80 years. And it's how they fought the ego against the higher self. Ego don't give in. He ain't giving in. You got to beat him down. You got to take him out. By any means necessary, according to Malcolm. And that's what Haru represents in you. The spirit that's in you is recognized by the falcon. Okay? He looked like an aardvark or a donkey. He's a cross between something stubborn, something that won't move. But he also represents earthbound animal. Haru represents the falcon that what? Flies and soars. And he goes solo. When he come to do work. You ever see the peregrine falcon? He's like a bullet. He hits you, he don't even bite. He's ball up his claws and punch you in the head and kill you or knock you out. And while you falling, he come out, scoop you up and go on by his business. So he a bad man. That's what your spirit represents. That's gifts. We use the gifts of the animals and for us aspects of our character. So if you are Haru, that means you're the baddest thing in the air. You're the baddest thing on land. And if you need be, you can go in the water and get what you need and come out unscathed. That's a bad man. That's what your spirit represents. And that's the power of, we use the eagle in the Western civilization. Over in Egypt, they use the falcon. Same concept. Birds of prey. Okay? They good at what? Killing. Mm-hmm. Haru is a killer. He ain't the savior. No, he ain't the one. He ain't the comforter. No. That's the other guy. I come to Rahu. Ahu. What? I come to kill. Moving on. That's your higher self. It don't take crap from nobody. Lottie-dottie, nobody. And Haru is set, as well as the control over one's breath, aka the lungs, life force, through what? The union and control over the lungs, breathing organs. The character of Haru and Set are an integral part of the book Per M. Haru. Why? It's the character, it's a story about you in the fight you have against your ego self, which is Set, which is what killed your father. You're here to avenge your father's killer. You got to take him out. Philosophically. But in the storytelling that we do with Assyrian myth, that's what's all based on. What? You rising up and being the victor of yourself in the physical form. Y'all call it Christ. We know it as Haru. Let's go. But the central and the most popular character in the ancient Egyptian religion of Asar and Haru, his son, him reincarnated. Who he didn't send his only begotten son. No, he was incarnated of his father. He's the incarnation of his father, the offspring. I just did lesson for my son. 45 years, he's my clone. I made him in my best image. When I see my son, I see the best part of me. That's when he see me, he see the best part of him. I get it now. And now my son setting himself up, he got three of them guys to see the best part of him, man. So another life lesson. But this is the story about life. Anybody's, everybody. Watch this. Asar, which is the first matter. When spirit turns into matter, he represents the spirit coming into matter, flesh. Okay, he represents God for every human being from that point on. Watch this. And Asar is killed. Obviously, he was human by his what? His brother Set, who what? His the ego. Why? Out of greed. This is what the jealous. This is what the ego conscious is. Out of greed and demonic satanian tendencies, jealousy, anger, greed, all those things that's wrong, that's what Set represents. And he craved to be what? The ruler. Even as a bad person, he still wants to be in charge. So he what? Took the throne by death, killing his brother, and ran Egypt into the ground. Like we got a leader right now, bad leader, well, everybody suffers. Gas prices up the roof, everybody going crazy, protesting, nobody likes him. He got the worst ratings ever. That's a bad leader. That's Set. Hello. Right now, I can mimic the same thing we're doing right now. Moving on, but watch this. But now, out of all the greed and dishonesty, he wanted to rule Egypt. And when he did, Egypt went black. downhill with the help of Tahuti, which is who? God's mind, the God of wisdom. Then Aset, who is the great mother, and Het Haru. Y'all know her as Hathor. Het Haru is Haru's mate. That's the female aspect of your spirit, the house of Haru. That means you living in yourself. She represents the female aspect of your spiritual concept. Okay? And that's his consort. His mother, his uncle, and his consort. Haru prevailed in the battle against Set that went on for 80 years. They went at it. They trying to show you in life it's going to be a constant battle until one of y'all give in, okay? Say uncle, or just take them out. And for the rulership of what? Over Kemet. You are, philosophically, you are Kemet. Your lower nature wants to run you to get what he wants, pleasure of the flesh. Your higher nature wants to what? Be your best self. Why? Because then when you become constant who you are, you can go home to your father. Other than that, you stay here. That's why they got a phrase. Body to earth, spirit to heaven. Okay? Set represents the body, the physical aspect. Your ego, that's what it identifies with, the human part. Your spiritual part is Haru, that's the spirit. All right? But now, in the Kemet concept, that's you, the human body. Haru's struggle, watch this. This is why it's so important. Everybody can relate to it. Haru's struggle symbolizes the struggle of every human being here having a human experience to regain what? Rulership of their higher self and to subdue their lower self, aka know thyself. That's the purpose of us being here. This is a test to get to the afterlife. And only way you're going to pass it is to what? Know yourself in the physical life. Become conscious, heart, mind, coherence. All right? But again, the most important, the most ancient writings in our historical period all are from ancient Cometians. These writings are referred to as hieroglyphics by the Greeks, but the original name that we know given to those writings by us, the ancient Cometians, is Medu-Neter. It means the writing of God, or Neter Medu, meaning the divine speech of God. Either way, we had God's writing. And that's why people in the Bible think the Bible written by God. No, it wasn't. By man. And Jesus, nothing about him either. Okay. But these writings were inscribed where? In temples, on coffins, and papyrus, meaning paper, and also contain all teachings in reference to what we call spiritual nature of the human being. They knew the body, lock, stock, and barrel, and the ways to promote what we call spiritual emancipation, obtaining knowledge of self, aka self-knowledge. They had it already laid out. Awakening, spiritual awakening, or what we call resurrection. Again, to rise up again. Our ancient Egyptian proverbs presented in this next text are translations from the original hieroglyphic scriptures, and it's an example of what they call hieroglyphic text. It was presented above in the form of text of what? Smai Tawi, aka Egyptian yoga. This is the translation. Egyptian philosophy, which is what right thing philosophy patterns after, may be summed up. This is what we represent right here. And I say we because this is what I follow. And the following proverbs, which clearly states that your soul is heavenly or divine, and that your human being, your body, must awaken to what? The true reality, which is what? The spirit self, aka thyself. I'm trying to get this point across to you again. I got it highlighted in yellow. You can tell if I've been somewhere. When I leave, I'm going to highlight what I think is important. And right here, I'm going to break this down what I think is important. I'm going to wrap it up with this. And I got a little more to go. I ain't done yet. So hold your seat. Hold your water, as they say. All right. Self-knowledge is the basis of true knowledge. Let me say that again. Self-knowledge is the basis of true knowledge. Your soul belongs to heaven. It can only get back if it's conscious of itself in the physical form. It has to learn that, acquire that, aka know thyself. And the body will stay here at earth. Why? It's nature. It's elements that will go right back to where it belongs, the dirt. And they tell you in Christians, God took man from what? Clay, dirt. And so that's where you go back to physically, the body. But the spirit that's internal don't die. It moves either up or to the left. I'm keep saying this way to the right, to what? Another body. That way home, this way reincarnation. But the concept is man is to become God-like. What? Through knowledge and the life of righteous and virtuous living and the cultivation of one's spirit. How? Through daily meditation and obtaining scientific knowledge. That means proof, not a whole bunch of superstitious mumbo jumbo belief. It means scientific proof, knowledge, and to practice their knowledge and work on bodily discipline, meaning you got to keep the body in good health. The body got to work out. So that means you got to go to the gym. I do that every day. And those are all the qualities that you can manifest for yourself to get what? Knowledge of self and add what? Life to your years of living on this earth, physically being in shape. And we call salvation is accomplished how? Through your efforts, the individual efforts of the individual, and there is no mediator between man and his or her salvation. I don't need Jesus to get to God. I got a direct line, like Jesus. So why would I need him? I got the same thing he got. Y'all could too if you understood it that way. Moving on. Again, this interpretation, I ain't got time for that. But my concept is, yeah, I got a direct line to God. I don't need Jesus. I don't need a savior. I'm the savior. Save yourself. I don't need a middleman. That's what they tell you, and I agree. Salvation, why? Because this tell you right here. They tell you right there. Salvation is the freeing of one's soul from its bodily fetters, aka ignorant self, aka set. Your ego. You got to free yourself from that. How? By becoming a God through self-knowledge and obtaining wisdom. By controlling what? Your emotions and the forces of the cosmos instead of being a slave to your emotion and subduing your lower nature, and through awakening of your higher self. That's how you end the cycle of what? Rebirth, reincarnation, and allow you to now dwell with the netters who all direct and control the great planes, aka the duat, the afterlife, whatever you want to call it. But that's where everybody's intentions is to go. Y'all call it heaven, whatever you want. But the spirits have to go somewhere because they don't die. They're not in the physical body no more. They got to go back what? To the ultimate spirit, God, from which it came. Only if it's enlightened. Again, Smai Tawi. Well, what do it mean? The terminology is Egyptian yoga, but it is a revolutionary new way to what? Find understanding and gain knowledge that you can practice from our ancient Egyptian mysticism system. The ancient Egyptians, mystical, they call religion. We called it Shitat Netta, or we practice Maya philosophy. That's what we're doing right now. Egyptian yoga is what has been commonly referred by Egyptologists as Egyptian religion. Again, we practice it on a daily basis, or either a mythology. We know that our gods was manifested mythological. We didn't think they was real. On the other hand, y'all Christians think y'all God is real. Why your God got to be real? It's the same as everybody else. Moving on. But to think of what Egyptian concept is just another set of stories or allegories about long lost civilization is to completely miss the greatest secret and information of human existence, the knowledge of self. We had that. We implemented that. We lived by that for thousands of years. So why would you poo-poo it like that? What is right thinking philosophy? What is yoga? The literal meaning is of the word yoga is to yoke or to link back, to get you to God. Philosophically, mentally, communing by meditating is all mental. You got to be conscious. The implications is to link back all individual consciousness to what is original source, God. And everybody has that opportunity. I told you, if it's 9 billion people, there's 9 billion ways to get to God. Oh, you got to have Christ. You got to be born again. Then you got to do a damn thing but stay black and die. But the original essence, we all come from. And that's what we don't seem to understand. That's in spirit, we're all brothers and sisters. Asar, Seth, and the first family, all brothers and sisters. They married their own brothers and sisters. It's all metaphorical. Numbnuts. You can't take a metaphor 1 minute and then make it real the next. Well, how he married his own sister. It's all metaphorical, you Christian dumb bunnies, as my mother-in-law call you. But universal consciousness is God. God is all conscious and spirit. That's what he is. Excuse me, I get annoyed with that. That's you making God human. No, he's not. He's spirit, life, and he's consciousness, all knowing. That's what he is. That's what he represents. We come in and bring the humanistic part to it. Understand that our goal is to be like him in the flesh. To what? When the flesh is gone, the spirit can go back where it belongs. We got to purify it though. In the process, okay, let me wrap this up. Yoga is a process in life, which helps one to be able to achieve what we call spiritual liberation. What? Freedom from the ignorant bondage of human pain and spiritual ignorance. You will suffer if your ego is running you. You're going to suffer. And you're not going to the next level. Move on. So whenever you engage in any human activity, and the goal is to promote your self-discovery of one true self, that's yoga. Whatever it is, I don't give a damn, Christian, Muslim, Islam. If you get into God, I agree with you 100%. I'm with you. Okay? Understand that. But it's only done by what? Studying the wisdom teaching, practicing, implementing them with exercise, fasting, daily meditating, and understanding the controlled breathing. You have rituals to practice. You have chants and prayers. It's all those things everybody in religion does. All those things for a reason. To get to God. That's the purpose, the reason for it. And you are practicing yoga, a yoga concept. If the goal is to help anyone to discover their true essential nature as one being with God, the supreme being in consciousness, that's what you study for. You have to learn. It's mental. Then that also is yoga. Yoga in all its forms, anywhere else in history. Yoga in all its forms, as what? Spiritual disciplines of spiritual development for you to get spiritually enlightened and to be practiced. And it was practiced by our ancient Egyptians earlier than anywhere else in history. The ancient scriptures describes how Asar, the first mythological king of ancient Egypt, he traveled throughout Asia and Europe, establishing civilization and the practice of what we now call religion. But he was educating and enlightening them. In order for them to get it and practice it on a daily basis, they called it a religion, because that's what you were practicing. So this partially explains why the teachings of the mystical spirituality known as yoga and Vedanta came out of India, and it's also similar to the same teachings of Shita Netta, ancient Egyptian religion philosophy, mystery system we called it. But Egyptian yoga, same thing. This unique perspective from the highest philosophical system, which developed where? In Africa, over, you ready? 7,000 years ago. Let me say it again. Over 7,000 years ago. That white man only go back 4,000 years. At most 6, and that's stretching it because he believed what the Sumerians told him. So that's still 1,000 years behind what was already set up. And Egyptians wasn't the first. We was the last. Ethiopia started this damn thing rolling. Moving on. And it provides what? We provide a new way to look at life and religion as we see it. But psychology, and the way to what? Spiritual enlightenment or development, leading one to obtain what we know spiritual enlightenment. Be it in the religious, be it in the philosophical, whatever, Buddhism, Hindu, it don't make a difference. It's all leading to the same place, God. So Egyptian yoga, right thinking philosophy, is not merely just a philosophy, but it's a spiritual discipline for what? Promoting spiritual evolution in all human beings, not just the few. No, all human beings had the same opportunity, allowing him or her to now discover their ultimate truth as human beings, becoming one and reaching supreme peace. And that's the utmost joy which lies where? Within the human heart. That's where you find happiness. That's where you find hotel. That's where you find yourself. Where? In the heart. But you got to become conscious. Heart, mind, coherence. These are the true worthwhile goals of what? Human life. Most important, right thinkers. Anything else in life is settling for less. If that's your choice, that's your responsibility, and you have to pay the consequences. But it would be like a personality who owns, what's this, vast riches, rich beyond their wildest dream, but them being ignorant of themselves, they think they poor and homeless. In spirit and in knowledge, they are. That's why they end up with on the street. They just say on the porch. If okay, homeless. They end up, wait a minute, what's this? And personality who owns vast riches, but they act as if they're poor homeless, and that's where they're going to end up. And every human being, hear me again, every human being has the potential, the spirit that's in you, Harut, to discover one's greatest treasure, like Muhammad Ali, the greatest love of all, he found it where? Inside himself. It's the greatest treasure of all human existence if they would apply themselves to the daily study and the rigorous practice of the teachings that they learn, like I'm teaching, of yoga or right thinking philosophy with a proper teacher, sage, guru. Now, is Smai is ancient Egyptian word and the symbol meaning union or to yoke. This is the vision of Egyptian yoga or right thinking philosophy. You becoming one with God. It's not going to change. We philosophically change it, break it down. But I'm trying to give you all the evidence I can to let you understand it. You had to make that happen for yourself. Hope you enjoyed the lesson. I'll be back with the study of yoga. What else? We rocking now. And in closing, right there, because I see it took a little long. These lessons seem to get a little longer, but they get more intense, hopefully more informative. Hope you enjoyed it. Right there, in closing. May you all live to be 100. Me, 100 minus that day. So I never know my right thing because we now understand the idea of Smai Tawi have passed away. You understand now what right thinking is. I got you. I'll be back.